What is going on, guys? I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. It was a crazy day in the markets. Yesterday, we had Wall Street bets. We had essentially it all. We had the Fed. We had big earnings yesterday. All of it just kind of crashed yesterday. We held overnight, though. And then today, we got a pump. I don't know if it was essentially the news on the vaccine for the African strain, I believe. Was effective 60%, I believe is what I saw. So I think that's what kind of helped everything. Again, I don't know if the hedge fund managers were trying to get back at Wall Street bets. That's what we sold off yesterday. I just try to give a warning shot. If it is, if it's not, I don't know. But we did rally back today. All my positions are essentially back in the green. There's a couple that are pretty close. They're still a little in the red, but mostly all in the green. That being said, remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. So let's just go ahead and bring up the charts today. Again, it is Friday, so it is Take Profit Friday. So I'm not expecting a lot. I think everything based around the Wall Street bet stuff. I know this morning GameStop and AMC weren't allowed to be traded on all platforms. And then some news came out about Robinhood, essentially, that I think it had ties with essentially the hedge manager of Marvin Capital. So I think that being said, they came out with a full list on Robinhood of all the tickers essentially that have been associated with Wall Street bets. That was, I think, there was Silver at one point, although I don't think Silver was banned. But you're talking about like Nokia, BlackBerry, a couple of the other ones were banned off of Robinhood, so you couldn't trade those at all. You could sell your position, but you couldn't buy anymore. So that went out. With that being said, with that news dropping about Robinhood, all the other CEOs of the different platforms essentially allowed everybody to start trading all these different tickers again because they didn't want, I guess, to get in that line of fire. But being said, again, we popped today. After hours, we're looking like that could be a higher low, or it could be a higher low or a lower high. Depends on how you look at it. It really depends how we do overnight. I'm kind of hoping after the pullback that we do pump again overnight to gap up, pull back for entries for next week. It is Friday, so remember, it is Take Profit Friday. So with that being said, I'll take my patience into tomorrow, see how it plays out, and then essentially move from there. Tesla, short little pump, but like I said previously in some of my videos, Tesla, I think after earnings is just going to sell off. I think we're going to get a little bleed out, maybe go retest 700. I don't really sure how far it's really going to drop. Maybe not even that far. Maybe 760. Kind of base a little bit. Once Tesla starts basing, I would look for a position. I wouldn't just start grabbing it now, even in the zones. I want it to kind of sell off a little bit more. I'll looking for it to base. Square pushed up nicely today. My leaps back in the green. I was trying to grab my shares back here, but I wasn't quick enough. It was starting to push well before I could even grab shares. I wasn't going to chase it. It tore up, and now it looks like it's ready to gap up and continue for earnings. Again, there's a lot of research I found on this. I should probably actually make a separate video on this, but Square has got a lot going for it with the crypto. Just with the Cash App in itself, it's just been a workhorse for them. Being said, I think this earnings will be huge for them. But again, we'll see how that goes. But it's right back to where I left it last time. Being said, so I'm still in those leaps. Airbnb, I like Airbnb, like I've said, but I do want it to pull back more. But Airbnb, I do like Airbnb a lot, but it is high. I want it to pull back. I'm looking for a correction. Although today we had quite a bit of a correction. We had like a 4 or 5% correction on the market in general. So I don't know if we're going to get much more of a correction other than that. So I've still been wary to jump in this. It is high. I would like a bigger dip for me to get back into Airbnb, kind of ride out some leaps. Apple, I took some YOLOs yesterday for the earnings. Obviously, it came crashing down. Being said, it did pop back up, so I did get out of those. got a little bit of money back, but still in the red. I didn't want to obviously keep those because it was struggling. Obviously, when I got up to this 142 mark, so I ended up selling out there. Facebook actually had a nice push up today and then started selling off. I think, again, if it comes back down to that 247, although leaps again on Facebook, until then, I'm just leaving it alone. Disney came back with a vengeance, just like SQ did today. I'm back in the green on this too. I expect this to run and test 200. Their earnings is on the 14th, so I think with the streaming service and everything, especially with Netflix, those numbers came out and were great. So I think with everything going on with Disney and their streaming service, I think this is really going to pop for earnings. Etsy, I wanted to position this today. It popped up here though before we started the day, before the bell rang, and it was just too high for me. I liked it down here, but at this point there was just too much going on. There was a lot of resistance here too, so I didn't want to take it. GIK, I'm still holding leaps in this. This is news based, so I'm waiting for this to play out. Again, there's no direct. No, I don't really know when that news is going to drop. So it's kind of one of those, that's why I have a leap in it, to kind of just wait it out until that news drops and then watch it rip. Snow, I'm still in this. It's good to see it pop back up again, back into that zone. So hopefully Snow will keep pushing. Lemonade, it's getting consolidated again. The only thing, again, that this and Spot, I do like them a lot. Their setups and they're playing range well, but their contracts are not the greatest. They got so much priced into these contracts that I don't like it at all, especially if you're looking at leaps and stuff like that. But Lemonade's is a good setup. I do like Spot a lot. It's starting to wedge. I think their earnings is on the 14th. So if it is here tomorrow, I'll look at contracts again. I might want to get a leap in this, even though I might have to pay a little bit more premium. I think Spot will do well and get a leap in this and watch this break upwards. BYND being said, there's a nice wedge created on this too, but it does look like it's trying to break down. So, and it is really high. So I don't want to take any positions up here. I'd prefer it break down and then get in a position lower for BYND, but we'll see how that plays out. Space is actually starting to wedge nice too. This might be a good play tomorrow. If it's holding here, breaks above this wedge, I'll be trying to get in this for a scalp tomorrow. This is another one of the Wall Street bets pumps that they've been talking about, but we'll see how this goes. EMPH, I missed this one today. I was talking about this one, but again, it pumped way out before I wasn't going to chase it. There's a couple of those that I missed just because it already pumped and I wasn't going to chase some of these, especially with the way the market's going. I just prefer it to come to me as opposed to chasing it. So the setup is not there, just not take it. STPK, I still am in a leap in this. This started push back up, back in the range. It's good to see. Again, energy storage play, hoping the news, again, this is all based around news. A lot of these are based around news. A lot of my energy or EV stocks, same with this one, same with NGA. It's all based off of news. So that's why they're long in the leaps as well. I'm just waiting for those to play out. Same with that one. And NDM, I've been watching this one. I've been wanting to take this one, but I wanted to come down. If I can get $10 on that one, that would be great. But we'll see. TAN is, I'm waiting on this. Again, if there's a bigger correction, I'd rather wait till that happens than try to get in TAN. Bingo needs to come down. It is really high already. See, none of the chips are really cared for. BA, it popped right back up even after it had a not so great earnings, but not my favorite. Setup's not there in my opinion. Amazon, man, if you've been holding any kind of contracts in this thing has been shooken up horribly bad. So I have to see. I think their earnings is actually next week, but it'll be interesting to see if this actually plays out, especially how the Apple and everything just kind of future guidance and stuff is just not the greatest. So I think that's well, obviously why they've been falling off. But Dropbox acquisition possibly by Amazon or Facebook popped it up. Now we've been rattling a lot. So I expect a big move out of this, although it'll probably break overnight and make a move. BA, Baba, not a huge fan. It is consolidating though. It could be worth a leap. I'm not getting into it because Baba likes to burn me. Snap, not a huge fan of Snap or where it's sitting at right now. I'll wait for it to come back down. Very good Butcher. I did take this, but I did sell out at break even yesterday only because I wanted to be more cash. And I did sell Planet 13, but I got back in it today because it came back down in the zone and been riding that up. So I grabbed it perfectly on the bottom here. I want to ride this up. I should have got heavier in here. I debated on how heavy I was going to go on this one. But this might be one that'd be good. If it's playing this range for a while and it does dip back down in here, I'll go pretty heavy again on this. I do like the fundamentals on that, and that's why I would go heavy on this, because I'm okay with holding it for longer, possibly if I need to. Obviously not my whole account this thing. I want to have some powder, so I want some extra cash around in case it does dip, then I buy the dips and average down as it goes. Evogen, too high, I want it down. Planters, that needs to come down. Too high. Microsoft, I don't trade Microsoft very often either, but it's hitting that resistance. That 240 has been a tough resistance, so yeah, it definitely needs to come down. Nintendo was one I took shares in this. Again, I've talked about all the news that's coming out. They got the Pokemon Anniversary Switch 2, all the sales of the Switch over the holidays. Also, ARC has also been buying up a lot of Nintendo. So I think there might be some bigger stuff that possibly I'm missing. But nonetheless, I did take a pretty decent position in this. Again, my conviction isn't the greatest, but it's good enough to take a pretty decent position in this and ride it out into earnings. Again, I don't know when the earnings are. I want to say it's on the 14th, actually. So I think 2 weeks away. You might see a big move after this. Even still, the position isn't so big that I would have to I couldn't let this ride it out and kind of build up premium. Again, I think we're going to start riding again. We had a pretty big correction yesterday. We had a 14%, or not a 14, but a 4% correction yesterday. So I think that's enough to get us to earnings, perhaps if not a little bit further. Again, March is that month where I kind of want to be more liquid. So we'll see how that plays out. When it's actually 10. It's in my buy zone, but the thing is with everything going on right now, I'm going to wait. So I'd rather wait for a correction before I get in a win. Let me see if there's anything else. I might as well bring up GameStop, just because it's been the source of everything. It's already pushing up. I know a lot of platforms came out and said they weren't going to put any more restrictions, especially after the Robinhood incident today. So obviously people are starting to buy GameStop again, and it's starting to push again after hours. Nokia is actually setting up pretty nice. It looks like it's ready to run. It was wedging nice. Now it's broken out of that wedge. I wouldn't be surprised if this takes off tomorrow. There's a couple. Silver was another big one that they were up. Wall Street Bets was pumping today. It did pump this morning. It was a huge pump this morning, and then it sold off, and it's starting to pump. This one's going to be a little bit harder to move, but we'll see how they do. The market in general, QQQ is not looking the greatest. But we'll see. Just remember, it is Take Profit Friday. I know these Thursday night videos, I make them a little bit shorter because there's not a lot going on. Normally what I wait for on Fridays is I'm hoping for a pump overnight so it sells off. And then that way I can get positioned for the next coming week. So I wait for that. So I play Friday. Fridays and Mondays are a little bit slow, only because I'm waiting for the market to kind of settle down a little bit before I actually take position. So with that being said, that is my game plan tomorrow. If you do play any of the Wall Street Bets stocks, do not bet your whole account on that thing, because it can go sideways and it can come slamming down. You can lose all your money. So just manage risk. And that's what I got for you guys. So have a good one, guys, and I will talk to you guys later.